How come Satoshi chose 21 million for the supply cap of Bitcoin? What's up with 21 million?
Why not 18? Why not 47? Why not 36?
Blackjack?
Ooh,
Am I close?
that's interesting.
Okay.
We're going to cover that.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the supply cap of 21 million Bitcoin. And it sounds like, Stewart, you might actually have some insight on why 21.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research.
Okay.
For the share.
Welcome to another episode of Sat Chat's Short Stacks. I'll be your host, Chris, founder, CEO, Ithaca Hummus. Smash buyer, smash the like button.
Yeah, and the subscribe. 10 million sats giveaway.
Let's go.
10 million, dude. I'm not going to get tired of saying that.
10 million?
That's a lot of Satoshis.
Yes.
That is for real generational wealth. Golly. So why did Satoshi choose 21 million for the total amount of Bitcoin? Because if you think about it, I mean, didn't he just make a program? You know, why not 20, 19, 22, 24, 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I always thought it was arbitrary. But on today's show, we're going to show you, maybe it's not.
You should have known better, because the more you look into Bitcoin, you realize nothing is by chance.
I know.
It is all on purpose. It is all, like, the more I learn about it, I'm like, oh my God, that like makes sense. Totally. Like, how did they think all of this through?
Seriously.
So well.
Seriously. Some mysterious figure out there.
Yeah.
With the lowest time preference of any man ever put this thing together.
Yeah.
It is incredible to think about and absolutely stunning. So let's start off with some of the popular pieces of speculation or, you know, fun little type stuff.
Okay.
And one of them is blackjack. Some Bitcoiners, or maybe not Bitcoiners, there's some chatter out there on the internet. That's probably the truest thing I can say. There's some chatter out there on the internet that's like, hey, 21 is like blackjack. And another alternate is like, you know, when you hit 777 on the slots, you know, bing, 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 you know, and 7 plus 7 plus 7, 21. So there is like a concept of, you know, you're kind of hitting the jackpot with Bitcoin, basically.
Okay.
You know, and maybe Satoshi could have decided to do some kind of tongue-in-cheek reference to gambling or hitting the jackpot, you know, because Bitcoin is the jackpot and your government tokens are not. Some other people, you know, are basically putting forward this idea that 21 million is I guess kind of an arbitrary number, but mainly focusing on the hard cap of it as a way to mimic how we approach gold or silver or really any form of money that's actually limited versus your fiat currency, nation state paper government token that is absolutely spewing sideways out of every reserve and bank in America. So it's kind of like, you know, it's designed to help us recognize that it's limited and therefore, you know, valuable.
Well, what's the significance of 21 in that example, though?
I don't think there is one. So
okay.
so that one's not so great.
That's a given, though. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, but I guess where I'm going with this is the idea of choosing a specific number to generate the feeling that it's limited like gold is not the real reason why he chose 21.
Do you have the real reason, by the way?
I believe yes, but Satoshi, okay, so it's important to say nowhere does Satoshi say why.
Okay.
He chose 21 million.
Okay, but
So,
you believe you have the correct answer.
I think I have it. I believe it's just math. I think it's just math. What do you think I mean by that? It's just math. What do you think I mean when I say Satoshi did some math and said, okay, 21 million?
Well, is 21 a prime number?
It's divisible by 3 and 7.
Right.
So definitely not.
Right. 21 is just math. 3, 7. I mean, nothing is obvious to me.
So let's imagine that you are Satoshi Nakamoto.
Okay.
And what you want is to create a form of money that is slowly going to take over. And your time preference is so low that you're comfortable with this not even being done by the time you're dead.
Okay.
You're going to...
21st century?
That's actually interesting. 21st century, 21 million. I haven't heard that online. So put it in the comments if you think Satoshi chose 21 million for the 21st century.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
But the 21st century, yeah. You create a money that's going to take over 100 years to even get done issuing. So if you're going to let 50 Bitcoin appear every 10 minutes, and then after 4 years, 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, and then after 4 years, 12 and a half every 10 minutes, then you can calculate how much Bitcoin will be issued, how quickly. And if you want it to take more than 100 years, you got to get up into the 17 million, 18 million, 19 million. So you can just look. Basically, Satoshi, I believe, looked at how long he wanted it to take. Okay, it's 2009. I'm going to release Bitcoin. I want it to take 130 years, right, to issue, so that it's happening so slowly and it's taking so long that by year 70 of Bitcoin, no one will be questioning Bitcoin anymore. It'll be so tried and true and trusty versus like these cryptocurrencies where they're like, and there's like 5 million tokens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is low and slow. Right? So he's going to take a look at the time and say, okay, well, if I wanted to take 100 years, then I need 18 million Bitcoin. If I want 110 years, I need 19 million Bitcoin or what have you. And he decided on the 21 million number as, all right, this is going to take 130 years. So it's kind of like reverse engineering the math.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that, but the total number of Bitcoin is not the only variable in that equation, right? For example, how long does it take to solve a block? Or what is the block reward?
Right.
So if he wanted it to take longer, he could have, instead of,
I see.
So he could have set a cap of 10.5 million, right?
Yeah.
And then the initial block reward, instead of being 50, could have been 25.
Correct.
I guess it's not obvious to me that 21 million has to be the number to solve that problem.
Well, I think it's important to point out that 21 million doesn't have to be the number, because Bitcoin would have worked with 18 million or 19 million or 22 million.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the more you learn about Bitcoin, the more you realize that it doesn't actually matter what that number is, because it's divisible into smaller and smaller units that can service the world economy no matter what.
I think he's just a sevens guy, like you're a nines guy.
He could be. I
think he probably liked to play blackjack. Like the slot machines.
You think so?
I mean, seven is a number of notoriety. It's a meaningful number
for sure
in a lot of cultures.
For sure.
So 3 times 7,
I think that he looked at the initial supply of 50, and he looked at the fact that he wanted it to take 10 minutes a pop. And then he was like, okay, well, how long would it take to get all the way down to 0? If you're going 50 Bitcoin for 4 years, then 25, right? How long would it take me to get all the way to the end? If this is the starting line, 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, and then once you reach that next epoch, it's 25. How long would it take for this to come all the way out?
Well,
and then he does the math. He's like, dude, 130 years? That's sweet.
I think if we wanted to continue digging into this topic, what we would need to understand next is why did the block reward start at 50?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah.
And why does it take 10 minutes? Why was it decided that it would take approximately 10 minutes to, because once we understand both of those things, maybe we'll get some more context around the 21 million.
I like that. I like that.
So,
short story long, why did Satoshi choose 21 million? We don't know.
Jeez. What a
Dude,
waste.
I listened to this whole short stack.
Please don't hate us. We are not going to make a habit out of just, I mean, I feel like we just rug pulled everybody.
But I actually think the mathematically derived, if it takes 10 minutes, then, and I want it to be longer than 100, I think that's a viable theory. So put it in the comments why you think Satoshi chose 21 million Bitcoin. Is it because he loves to gamble? Is it because the number 7 is special for him in a different way? Or does he love 21 Savage, the rapper, who probably wasn't even out in 2009?
Or just relentlessly mock Stewart for coming on here.
Dude, this is a dope short stack.
Pretending like he was going to give you, I didn't know. I didn't prepare for this.
You did.
I just showed up.
I wanted you to go in blind.
And I like it that way.
But you were like, my eyes are open, bro.
I was waiting.
I was like,
what's the answer?
Yeah.
And I know everybody else out there was like, what's the answer?
Dude, y'all should just dump on me. Or come to my defense and be like, dude, why Chris so aggro? Hot theory.
Or come in the studio and fight him.
I was going to say, be a guest and, put forward your ideas. So.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Sat Chats.
Chris hated this episode.
Stacks. This one sucked.
He hated it, dude. I love it.
Remember, Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed for financial advice. And no peeing in the mempool.
See you tomorrow.